watching Oilers Nation Real Life.
I go for donaires with my neighbor.
That's nice. I got a lot of things I'd love to talk about.
I can see in your face you disagree.
Chalmers is busy brushing his teeth. We've added too much to his plate.
Yeah,
Something has to give.
The hockey talk was all I had written down for prep.
My wife, not pumped I brought that up.
Real Life Podcast. It is Monday. No Tyler. He's gone. We killed him.
Avoiding the grind.
He's avoiding the grind as he always does. No Chalmers. He is busy.
He's ill.
He says he's sick, allegedly.
You think
Could
he's
be.
faking it?
I did play men's league with him yesterday.
And?
I came out of retirement again. He was flat. He was flat for sure. So
Just the Tom Brady of men's league, eh? Come back, peak of your game still.
I was it wasn't my best game yesterday. I was flat as well. I had no juice. But didn't matter. It was still good. We still got the W. But yeah, Chalmers was also flat.
He claimed to be coughing nonstop. He's very descriptive in the group chat.
He was cherry picking. And
Seems on brand.
the face-off draw comes to me. The face-off's in our zone, and he's cherry picking on the blue line, and he starts to move. So I'm like, sweet, I'll bank it off the boards so it goes behind the defenseman that he's starting to move behind. And the minute I made the pass, he stopped moving. Like, and I'm talking when he moved like 2 feet. Like I'm like, okay, this is enough signal for me that this is the right decision. And
He's on death's door.
yeah,
You
clearly.
can't be giving him a breakout
He's
pass.
like, that was a breakaway.
That just reminds me of when we were doing the pond hockey tournament in Jasper last year and Team Oilers Nation was playing against your buddies.
Yeah.
And in the 2 hours leading up to that game, Chalmers was talking nonstop shit about how he was going to get under their skin.
Uh-huh.
And then what happened was cherry picking. They got under his skin until he eventually got leveled on the ice. That kind of went viral on our socials.
It did, yeah. And the guy that hit him was so happy with how viral it was going. He was sending Chalmers updates on new view milestones, which was very entertaining. You know what? Let's pond hockey, baby.
Anyway, skeleton crew here today. I'm in control. So Tyler just gave me one instruction. He said, do not go the podcast without reading the ads. So I will not do that. And therefore, I will start with a shout out to Odd Company and Nation Beer. Had a couple this weekend. Delightful. The problem was, Wanye, that I only had a couple in my house.
Right.
And they were gone.
Which game?
I was enjoying them during the Detroit versus Edmonton matchup. They were delicious. We're pumped to partner with Odd Company to bring you an all new Nation Beer, and it's called Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Perfect for the next big game. Perfect to be your next go-to lager. Find it at Odd Company Brewing and at Liquor Connect. If it is not at a liquor store near you, ask them why not. What is going on with your establishment that you don't serve Nation Beer?
To quote Jason Strudwick, it's a delicious bouquet coming in your mouth.
I do remember that quote.
Where can I get it if I'm in the market for a delicious crushable lager bag milk? Where am I going?
Hop on to Liquor Connect. Find a liquor store near you that sells it.
Oh, you can go to one site and no?
One site for them all.
Come on now.
Visit Odd Company.
Or just go to Odd Company.
Yeah.
Good food.
120.
They got 2 locations
They
now,
got
right?
2 locations. 121st and just off Jasper. So it's at 101, 102 in the Oliver Exchange Building. Very cool zone, their first location. And then on Happy Beer Street on some Ave and some street. I'm so bad when it comes to addresses, but it's just off White Ave. It's south of White Ave and west
Quasi
of
Argyle.
99th.
All I know is if you come down the street, you end up going by Route 99 Diner on your way back. That's all
Or
you
on your
need
way
to know.
there.
Or on your way there. Go grab some Nation beers.
Yep, check it out. We'll be doing some events here soon as well.
We went as a crew to the game on Friday. Thought that was enjoyable. It was Jay, Tyler, and I, and Waz.
And was.
Anyone drink?
A couple of cocktails were had, a couple of libations.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Game went
No
well.
reason not to drink.
Lost some steam on a Friday.
Why not?
Ended up in the casino.
Come on.
Ended up in the casino.
Up or down?
You know what? The ATM paid out.
There you go.
Yep.
Ended up being down, but it was an interesting journey.
It was an interesting
What were
journey.
you doing?
We were kind of all over we were spraying the field. Just having a good time.
Yeah.
We would go down in a machine, head back to the roulette table.
The virtual, like the automatic or whatever.
the robo roulette.
Yeah.
Make our way back up, try another machine, and we tried to repeat the process probably 3-4 times until eventually calling her quits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't been to
we
it.
were up. We were in the
zone for a minute.
Yeah, we were flying high.
No craps table though.
No craps table. The most social game going, but
Is it busy?
It was, yeah.
It's so packed. That's why you can't play like table. It's so packed in there. It's more you just go like hang out there to socialize.
Really?
Like that is where kind of a ton of people
You
dump.
grab a couple of beers and just all of a sudden a couple of spins. I ended up, I don't know what time we left at, but I remember thinking, I was like, we were here way longer than I expected us to be.
Yes. I thought it was just like, okay, hello, hang out, move on to the next one. We stayed there till, well, dang near 1 a.m.
So great time.
Good times.
Maybe why I was flat at Minsley yesterday.
It's also probably why my recap article took 2 hours longer to produce than normal.
Yeah.
You know, happens. But when the Oil win a game 4-0, dominated by the way.
You gotta go out on a Friday.
Hit the Nino.
Come on.
Hit the Nino.
You've already won. Was there any sprinklings on the actual game?
I didn't do well, actually.
Oh, I did horrific.
With
But
the all
what
winning
we were-
4-0?
Well, we were kind of getting in the weeds. What was the most fun, though, is the three of us, Tyler, Jay, and I, we all had Vasily Podkolzin to score the first goal
And Tyler's
of the game.
dad.
And
with
Tyler's
the biggest bet of them all.
Yeah, Ross went in heavy on this one. So essentially, it was like 3,000 to 1 or something like that.
Plus 3,000 or 32.
Essentially, if he had scored that goal, we would have all been getting mortgage payments coming in.
It was.
And he had 3-4 really good looks in the first period. That chase was electric.
That was one of the more entertaining bets.
Interesting.
All the high danger chances were basically Podkolzin.
It was him.
So what were the wagers on this?
I didn't put much. I only put $10 on it.
So you would have got 30 G back?
No.
I was someone it worked out about 3,200. Got back.
Yeah. And Ross put 50 down.
Yeah. Ross put 50 down.
Yeah. So that was big smoke. Big smoke.
He would have got like 18 grand or something.
Good. But it was, so I might just, for the fun of it, maybe always have a first
Just
goal
a cheeky
score bet.
one? Why not? Because if you hit, it pays for the season, essentially.
It was just exhilarating.
Always Podkolzin?
Yeah. I don't know about always.
Why were you vibing on him just
because he got bumped up to Leon's line.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we thought,
that's smart.
That was a nice edge there.
That's smart. That's smart.
So it was
betting.
good value. And
smart
the
betting.
amount of opportunities where it almost happened.
Yeah.
And I also want to give shit to Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
Should have passed on that.
Yeah, 2-on-1 with Podkolzin, and he shot.
Oh my God.
There was one moment where we were in Uncle Kerry's seats, and Tyler's dad's seats are just kind of down to the left from where we were sitting. So Tyler was got eyes on his dad the whole time. And when that 2-on-1 happened, you saw the big reaction from Ross because he would have won a pile of money.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. Anyways, that was fun. It was fun. The few bucks I put down on that.
Definitely was. Yesterday's game wasn't nearly as fun, despite the result was equally wonderful. First period was rough.
Yeah.
It was a little slow.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Emotional kind of win on Friday.
2-0 weekend, boys. Ain't nothing to sneeze at.
Game. Yeah. Flight to Detroit, early-ish game. Yeah.
Another
They got
game
the
today.
W.
Another game today against
They're climbing
the
out.
Blue Jackets. There was also the Ring of Honor. They held it after the game on Friday. I think they screwed up. Because what they should have done is like buzzer goes, everything starts coming on the ice while there's still people in the seats.
A little bit too long of a delay.
They flooded the rink.
Yeah.
So then everybody starts leaving, and then they were doing announcements and stuff. And then the carpet started coming out, and I'm looking around and I go, they waited too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to be honest, I swear it was very similar to if it was a pregame ceremony. So I think the next turn of adjustment is to do exactly that. Like, because they didn't have the players come out for their 3 stars to try to speed things up, yet they flooded the rink.
Yeah.
They should do an intermission.
Or, well, you know what? That would actually would.
Everyone's there. Like, there's something so amazing happening at intermission. Do a ceremony at intermission.
Yeah, they should. They could do one guy.
And then it keeps it short. Yeah.
Give them their 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, no, it was.
If you're listening, OEG, and I know you are, why don't you listen to that idea?
We got good ideas.
Good ideas.
Yep.
We're the ideas guys.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, Mac T, Randy Gregg up on the Ring of Honor.
Well deserved for both.
Of
course.
Dr. Gregg's speech was very good.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, just very pro Edmonton.
Oh,
and
of course. Yeah.
Edmonton Oilers are the shit. And, he was talking about how he had a quote attributed to him where the Hockey News claimed he said, while I'm in my room reading medical books, the Oilers are in their rooms reading comic books.
Similar.
He never said it. they mentioned he like set the record straight in his making the Ring of Honor ceremony. So you got to assume he's telling the truth. He's like, I want to take the opportunity to set this record straight on a hockey news story 30 years ago. Right?
What did MacT talk about?
He said, basically about leadership and like how he'd given thought to what made the real Oilers leaders, he said, quote unquote. He put himself in a secondary class below all the leaders that he studied with. During the kind of like stoppages in play, they were flashing up graphics being like, this is coming after the game or whatever. And all I could think about when MacT's picture was up there was FMNF. Yeah. From way back in the day. God almighty, was those funny days. Mm-hmm. Every single comment, every single tweet, every single Instagram post, people would say, fire MacT. And it was like, we take this for granted that MacT should be fired. Now let's talk about other things, because all they wanted to talk about in those days was firing MacT. Even before we had the Twitter account, that's all it was. Yeah. The old Justice League meetings on game day. Boy, we hated MacT. Mm-hmm. He's been exemplary. We can fast forward. 15 years ahead. Like he's still in the org in some capacity, I think.
Is he? It's just a game 7.
He's got to be involved in some role, isn't he? Senior technical advisor to the POHO.
I don't know, because he went, didn't he do like a...
He was with St. Louis for a minute.
Yeah, he went to KHL and got fired immediately.
Yeah, which I bet you that is an interesting story. If we can ever get MacT on the show, I'd love to hear that story. Even I remember he did, immediately after he got fired, he did something at TSN or something where he was talking about his experience over there and getting yelled at by the GM in Russian and then having to wait for the translator to kind of relay whatever was going on. He goes, I don't understand what he said, but I'm pretty sure I got it. Yeah. Yeah. He was only there for like 2 seconds. MacT's so well spoken. He would be an amazing articulate AF.
Those old boys though, everything's in the vault and they're not going to tell you nothing good. Like they all have that like 80s championship mentality.
Oh, there's some stories.
Like imagine if Glenn Sather wrote a book. He never ever would, because he's the OG vault of all the secrets. But like the shit that guy knows. Oh man. MacT too.
Like I'd love to know all of like the Glenn Sather bailing out stories of
covering up covering up for all their insanity.
Yeah.
I heard that Glenn Sather in the heyday of the Oilers and for a long time in New York, he would never phone another GM to propose a trade. He would only wait for someone to phone him. And that always put him at the advantage in all the negotiation. So like crazy good in the 80s, that worked well. And then that was like one of the reasons maybe, because remember before he left, we were having hard times.
Yeah.
Before he went to New York. I remember reading a long time ago, in the journal, they said that like Sather has a strategy of never phoning other GMs. I always found that, is that genius or weird? Back to Randy Gregg. I saw you pulled out an old letter to a young Wanye. Yeah. It's a foundational moment. How old would you have been when that came up? It's on our Instagram account if you don't know what we're talking about. I think like 9. It's amazing that you keep that stuff. That was a huge event for me, man. That really changed my life. No exaggeration. I wish, thankfully, my old man keeps all that stuff for me. Otherwise, I probably would have chucked out so many things. I don't keep stuff. I framed it. It's been in a frame in my room my whole life. Jay, do you keep stuff like that?
Yes. I don't have like, yes, I do. And I'm very disrespectful to revisiting those things.
You never look at your stuff.
You never look. I got a box.
Yeah.
And there's like things like that's going in the box. And I never look at the box.
I don't even have a box.
It's better than not having a box. We don't have a box.
I don't have
I got a forever box. One day when my husband comes and takes me away to live on a farm, I'll have my forever box to look at.
That's why I'm thankful for my parents. They both have forever boxes that they keep on my behalf.
Then you got that peace of mind.
Yeah.
Someone's got a box for you.
Because like my old man, he was cleaning out his house when he sold it a couple years ago. And he goes, I've got a box full of like old hockey cards and signed programs and stuff. He goes, if I give this to you, are you going to take care of it or you want me to keep it for now? I'm like, you keep it for now. We both know the answer to this.
There's probably some cool shit in there.
Yeah, probably. Because back in the day, we've talked about it a bunch of times. You used to be able to go downstairs and hang out outside the dressing room.
Oh, yeah.
I did that all the time.
I'll tell you that story, Dr. Gregg, real quick. It's a cool story. So I'd never been to an Oilers game before in my life. And my family were not hockey fans in any capacity whatsoever. But somehow or other, through my mom's work, we were at a game. And Dr. Gregg showed up. And he was our neighbor. And like I knew him enough from like seeing him and his kids at soccer. I was always a referee. I was 9. So I must have been seeing his kids. I was playing soccer. I later saw them when I was a referee. He was always so nice to me, man. He's a gentleman, Dr. Gregg, right? And so he sees me. Oh, hi, how are you? Yeah. Do you want to come to the dressing room? Like, what? Do you want to come to the dressing room? I'm like immediately terrified because I'm like, what's this going to be? Right. And I think it was a preseason game. And I went down and I was really excited to meet Craig Simpson. That was like my guy, even though I didn't really like the Oilers. I was super pumped because he's at the time like the young gun. And Dr. Gregg took me around the whole room, got a program signed by everybody, Bill Ranford, Mark Messier. I still have the program, insane. And talked to me like I was his best friend in the whole world and introduced me to all the Oilers as though we'd been known each other our whole lives. And then Craig Simpson, as I was about to leave, I heard, wait. And I turned around and Craig Simpson came running down the hall because he'd been doing an interview and gave me a game puck and gave me the stick.
Amazing.
And I was blown the fuck away. Like when I left that night, I remember just being like, wow.
Floating out of there.
Well, those are things that lock people in. Those are core memories that lock you in for life.
So then I wrote a thank you letter to the Oilers saying, thank you, Dr. Gregg, for having me down. This is very crazy, blah, blah, blah. And he replied. And I just couldn't believe he took the time to reply to fan mail. Right. And it was like, and it says in the letter, like something like, work hard in school and listen to your teachers always. And I hated school and I hated my teachers. But I remember looking at it being like, well, if Dr. Gregg says so, he's got 3 Stanley Cups and he's a doctor. And that set me on a life of like super fandom of the Oilers for sure. Shit. If he hadn't done that, there probably is no Oilers Nation from my side of things. I wouldn't have been like super fan from there on out. That next morning, I was a super fan.
Similar story for mine. I've said it on this podcast before, is when Bill Ranford signed my program and spent probably 45 seconds talking to me about the game. Locked in forever.
Yeah. It's amazing. And that's,
you had crazy experiences at the club with like Messier and all that kind of crazy shit. Like you had time with the best of the best.
Yeah. They were all members of the golf course, or at least some of them were, and they would do like a photo day for all the kids of the members. So yeah, I was there. It was like Adam Graves, Mac T, Mark Messier, Jelena, Jeff Smith.
Yep. Jeff
Smith.
Did that lock you in as an Oilers fan, seeing those guys, or were you already pretty hardcore?
It was, for me, it was very amazing to meet Mark Messier, because I was like, this guy, I'm like, this is like the toughest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I got to meet him in person. I'm like, he was so nice. So kind of just that kind of connection was super cool. So it's always things like, it's amazing though, like the importance of those types of experiences.
Yes.
So many people, so many super fans have had one of those.
I would argue unless you have those types of events, you won't be a super fan.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to people who are hardcore into something, they have some sort of interaction at some point with a player or a coach. Right.
And it's just, and for the player, it's so simple to deliver on, but like that 45 seconds is going to last the rest of your life.
Yep.
Right. And it's just amazing just what a little investment of time in an experience on someone is so impressionable.
And sometimes it's the reverse. Because like I said, on Friday, we brought Waz to us with the game, or Waz with us to the game, and he was wearing the double DR. So we were talking about how he now has 2 signatures on his Derek Ryan jersey.
Yes.
Both the numbers are signed. Now the game, I think, is how many can you get on there?
For sure. Every year you got to go back and get him to sign the jersey again.
Yeah.
But the funny part to me is that when he went and got Derek Ryan to sign it the second time, Derek Ryan remembered him immediately and said, oh, you got to the front of the line this time.
But this is, I think, like what's the gulf between like the heroes and then us normal civilians, right? Like I think about my letter to Dr. Gregg. I'm like, think about the thousands of letters he must have received. I bet you didn't receive that many letters. And like DR10, remembering Waz, how many Derek Ryan jerseys are there? So it is a 2-way street, right?
For
like
sure.
our adulation to them, we think, oh, he must not even care. I bet you a lot of times they do care. I bet you Derek Ryan was like pleasantly surprised that he has a fan that A, got the jersey, and B, came back to get it signed a second time.
Well, his wife tweeted at Waz, thank you for being his biggest fan outside of me.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so like Waz on cloud 9.
Of course.
Yeah.
Buzzing.
But it doesn't even matter what age you are. Something like that
it's awesome.
has such a major
Of course.
impact.
I love it.
And taking, like, don't think that all players take you having an interest in them for granted. Because for some, they love it.
Do you guys ever have anything with Mac T? I've only ran into him once in the wild.
No.
And it was at a restaurant on the West End. And I was on the bar side waiting for a table. So I just pop up at the bar and I'm just sitting there waiting. And then I feel like I bump my elbow and I look over and it's Mac T sitting beside me at the bar.
Shit.
And I went, oh shit, sorry, Mac T. And he just looked at me and goes, Oilers fan. And then continued on with his life. That's
Mac T.
That's the only time I've ever seen or interacted with him in the wild.
My most I've had a few bump-ins with Mac T.
Really?
Yeah, well, because the club,
Right.
the golf course. But the most memorable one was the Heritage Classic in Winnipeg. when
Oh,
there was
great.
the
You guys have that great photo.
delay. I'm wearing a Oilers onesie and it's Bucky and MacTavish are sitting there. And I kind of know Bucky. And I'm like, Bucky. And he's like, hey, Jay, how's it going? And he's like, yeah, just come have a beer with us. And I just like hung around and shot the shit with MacT
Unbelievable.
and Bucky during the sun delay having a beer while everyone in that stadium was drinking it dry.
What an experience. Were they nice?
Oh, yeah. And we're just talking about absolute nonsense. And it was great.
I'll never forget when you talked to Buck Burger at Cowboys the one time. I was just like, well, I don't know if you're familiar with the president of Earth, Jay Downton.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
Like just wall to wall people, and the Oilers, when they're in there, like all the heads are turned pre-phones.
Mhm.
So all you could take a look was with your eyes. And I just, as I remember it, we're walking up and Bucky sees you. And he's like, oh, hey, Jay, what's going on? I was just like, oh, this is unbelievable.
That was cool.
Funny you brought up that MacT photo. We also ran into Adam from sales that used to work for us once upon a time.
Mandisi?
Yeah.
Mandrick, we saw him.
Was he in the
after game as
cast?
In Fort Hall.
Oh,
Yeah, we ran in Ford Hall.
Yeah, there was some hugs. I saw some kisses.
Oh, dear.
Oh, he was dishing kisses on the neck.
Was he out? Was he drunk?
Well, he was wondering what we were doing. We're like, we're going to the casino. He goes, well, I'll meet you. And we never ended up meeting.
He was
but
hosting. I think he had some.
he had some clients, I think.
Business development, if you will.
But it was got a fresh one on the neck. It had
There
been
you
a
go.
while since I got one.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a
Yeah.
good game.
Everybody
on
was
Friday.
vibing after the 4-0 win.
Oh, it was good. It was, much needed because that game, especially in the first period, the fact that we were throwing the kitchen sink, but also allowing the same kind of opportunities coming back the other way, could have gone a different direction quite easily.
The vibe really was like they need to score or this is going to end up a loss.
Yeah.
In the first period, even though they outshot them like 20-5 or something.
The
like
shots of like they were comical.
Yeah.
At a few points in the game.
that. So
It's
anyway, it was
like, oh my
great.
God, we just can't get it done.
Yeah, got it done.
Got it done.
2 wins in a row, back
2
to
in a row.
500. Love to see it.
Yep. And should be a scheduled win against Columbus, but
In
we got to
theory.
show up. Got to
Yep.
show up.
Couple things standing in the way. Tyler normally does this, but I was trying to prep some topics. The Oilers just need to get some goals from some guys who have not scored. Hyman's still 0 on 25 shots. He's normally a 13% shooter. That's his career. Arvidsson, no goals on 17 shots. He's normally an 11% shooter. McDavid normally shoots at 15%. He's shooting at about 9 right now. Same with Jeff Skinner shooting under 10%. He's over 10% as a career.
Liam Ononi brought up a few things. There's been, and this is because an update from Friday's game, the combined goals of the top 6 wingers for the Oilers is 1.
Since when?
5-on-5
All season?
all season.
Say that again.
The combined goals from the Oilers' top 6 wingers at 5-on-5 is 1 goal.
So who was it? Nuge scored on
Nuge.
Friday.
It was Nuge.
Really?
And we're still 500. That's a good sign. The fact that it's
gonna turn
that's-
around.
Well, it's not going to continue like that forever. These are the best players in
And
the world.
we are 3rd in the league in shots. So I said, okay, what did the team last year that finished 3rd in the league in shots? Who were they? It was Carolina.
Mhm.
They made playoffs. Number 2 was Florida. Number 1 was Edmonton. So we're doing some things right. We just got to it's got to
It'll turn itself around
progress to the mean.
It'll turn itself around though.
The math is going to math.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm looking at
We're on the funky side right now.
at 5-on-5, the Oilers are only shooting at 5.2%. Normally they shoot at about 11 at 5-on-5.
Come on now.
Yeah. So, it's, the numbers are there. The math's in our favor. Loading the gun, if you will.
Look at me being a spreadsheet boy.
That's why I'm betting on Zachary Martin Hyman to score tonight.
First goal or anytime?
Well, now I might want to chase the first one.
Yeah, I'm not.
Get a pod calls it.
First ones, I want to be in person.
Is he still in the top
'Cause that was
line?
exhilarating.
I haven't seen the lines yet.
I believe
They played
the
yesterday, so we
same
probably
as
won't get
yesterday.
anything until right before puck
I
drop.
believe they're the same. Yeah.
Normally.
Well, except for Skinner. Skinner will be starting tonight.
Yep. Yep.
Show Pickard.
He really kept them in there in the first period yesterday. Had it not been for Calvin Pickard, like I saw people shitting on him on Twitter, and I got no reason for it.
I'll quote the post-game show. If you can have your cheap backup steal you a game,
take it.
What are you doing?
We are forever indebted to Calvin Pickard for the run we had last summer.
And I will forever apologize that I thought his sister was his wife on Twitter. That's on me. I saw Kelly Pickard firmly in his corner shouting at everybody. I said, that old lady's great. And she tweeted back, I'm his sister. And I was like, ugh.
I don't think you're the only one that made the mistake.
Our pal Cal. Hey, your sister's in your corner. It means you're a good guy.
Yeah. 100%. We're in his corner as well. I like to think so anyway.
I love our pal Cal. He always seems so happy and I don't know. Don't shit on Pickard, you
He
nerds.
seems like the ultimate teammate from all accounts.
I hear he's like supreme glue guy. Like he's one of the guys in the room. Like he is.
What are we doing? We got a low value player in a salary cap era snatching us games that's good in the room. We're shitting on him. Come on.
That kind of leads me to another thing that was on my list is I don't think anybody probably watched it yet, but Netflix put on a 3-part docuseries about the 2004 Red Sox when they came back from being 0-3 down against the Yankees. The story is what it is, but a big part of it that I didn't know was how much they relied on the glue guys in the room to keep everything together when things were going sideways. And it matters a lot more than we probably think because it doesn't touch score sheets. It doesn't touch, spreadsheets or whatever.
It's not directly.
Exactly. So like Kevin Millar was that guy on that Red Sox team. And they had a bunch of clips of him like shaving the teammates' heads, the jokes he would say when they were losing, like all the stuff that you would be like, weird timing for this. But ultimately they all kind of credit him as the guy, the glue guy that kept it all together. So if you're looking for a sports documentary, there's plenty to watch. That one was fantastic. Me and sales guy Jared were texting about it all day on Saturday.
Statistics tell part of the story, but you don't necessarily understand like intangibles like motivation and confidence and stuff like that. That doesn't always... You can't use statistics to predict that sort of thing. You'll see the results of it in the score sheet and teams maybe performing better than you would think. The Red Sox and the Yankees, that's who you said it was?
Yep.
That's big salaries, right? For those guys to be glue guys to hold together $200 million worth of egos.
Well, and at that time, the Red Sox weren't, if I'm remembering it right, they weren't quite the high end salary team yet. They were just kind of moving in that direction.
Right.
That was when the ownership change happened and they were trying to hire Billy Beane away from the A's. And
remember in that movie when he gives him the offer for how much money he can get? He like faints.
Yeah. So Billy Beane's in this documentary and talking about the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They even like...
Did Billy Beane pass away?
Or no? I don't think so. I've got the technology. Hang on. No, he's good.
Attaboy.
Oh, some kind of bean passed away. Sorry.
No, he's 62 years of age. Just turned 62 in March. Happy birthday,
Happy
Billy
birthday, Billy Beane. Well done.
But they talk
Back
about
in March. It's November.
They talk about him in the documentary and he's in it. And they go, it got to the point where they don't cover it in the movie with Brad Pitt, but like he originally was kind of accepting it. They popped bottles of champagne and were celebrating that win that he was going to the Red Sox. And then he kind of reversed course
and stayed with the
A's.
Because they gave him a bunch of dough or what?
They were going to make him the highest paid GM ever in any sport at that point.
To be at the A's.
To be with the Red Sox.
Right.
But then he
don't do that.
He was thinking about his like family dynamics. He goes, I can't do it. I can't be away from my kids.
But did the A's hit him with some loot so that he...
Some, but nowhere near.
Wow.
Kind of. But
I'd be like, welcome to Boston, kids.
Yeah.
Then they went on and hired a GM at the time who was only 28 years old.
Yeah. What was that guy's name again?
Theo
Epstein.
Something. Yeah, Theo Epstein.
And does he still consider to be a genius of the game today? He's kind of like the Toronto guy.
Theo Epstein is currently with, it says former president of the Chicago Cubs. I don't know where he is now.
So he's out of the game.
Theo Epstein joins Fenway Sports Group. That was in February. So he's doing something back with the Red Sox, seems like. Anyway, fascinating documentary. I love me my sports documentaries, even if I don't care about the team. That one is as good as they get. Love that. Also, there's just some really good sports on. Watching the World Series. I don't really care about baseball, but I'm enjoying it.
Baseball World Series is different though. You can appreciate the magnitude of the event.
Oh, every pitch is something
like a walk-off grand slam and extra innings on Friday to win it at home. That shit you talk about when you're a kid. I can only imagine what was going through that dude's head as he was doing the parade around the bases while the place is going bananas.
I can't stand baseball. I can still remember the 1994 Blue Jays run, like how transfixed the country was all of a sudden. Those games against the Braves, and I don't even like baseball. I can still remember that shit. Yankees games late into the playoffs where they're like at home and everyone's standing. But even if you don't like baseball, the playoffs are phenomenal.
They're so much fun.
And the World Series is insane.
Yeah, it's just the intensity and just that it's there's something real at stake. So everything means something. How's Ohtani?
He's playing tonight.
Is he?
He's got that Japanese resolve.
Okay,
Partially
good.
separated. That's nothing.
Well, because like
I mean, I should hope so. But
I was watching the
Sorry to
game
get
and
a
I saw
Tommy
him
John.
steal. First of all, it was weird because I was like, you're up 4-1. Why are you trying to steal right now? I thought it was odd, but what do I know about baseball and who am I going to critique that guy? And then his shoulder is out. And then I saw the clip of the Japanese broadcast. I guess he was mic'd up or his translator was mic'd up or whatever. When he ran out to second base, he goes, "What happened?" He goes, "My shoulder is out." And to find out he's playing tonight, what?
that's not his pitching arm. So
Not his pitching arm, man. You just give him the needle of World Series.
He'll be
Let's
all
go,
right,
baby.
eh? Come
Swing
on.
away.
yeah.
700 million.
Oh,
That game's on today.
Ohtani anytime Tater. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of baseball, is Juan Soto going to get like a similar sized contract as Ohtani, but nothing deferred?
I'm told the next deal is going to be monster.
Like maybe his value went from 500 to 600 because of the playoffs he's had, they said.
So this one is, I just did a quick Google on Juan Soto contract projection, I should say. This one came out 4 days ago in the New York Times. The estimated value on Juan Soto's upcoming contract is anywhere between $550 to $650 million.
But Ohtani's is like 90% deferred for tax reasons and salary cap reasons. His is legit paid out during the term.
Baseball contracts are just unreal.
I know.
That's so crazy, man.
I know, it's wild.
Unreal stuff. Like going back to that Red Sox documentary, that first kind of, I guess it would have been 2003 or 2002. I don't remember the years. Like before David Ortiz was Big Papi David Ortiz, he was kind of bopping around and no one really was like locked into him yet. The Red Sox paid him like $1.5 million and then he showed up and became Big Papi.
Oh
Where
boy.
did he come from? Did he come from Cleveland?
It was
Where did he come
like
from?
Florida, I believe.
Florida.
Something like that. Anyway.
I was watching kind of just reading like Yankees fans' thoughts about Soto on like their Instagram, and they're just like, give him $1 billion, give him $1 trillion. Like there's no number they're gonna roll
No,
out
they're
too
just
high
like-
for the infamous Bronx fans. Like, give it all to him. It's like a dick measuring contest. They're like, we can pay a guy more than Ohtani, hey?
Yeah.
And Soto's
means
like,
something.
it could be me.
I was way off. It was the Minnesota Twins, Jay.
Twins.
Big Papi came from the Twins. What did he look like when he was there?
Same guy, pencil beard, or whatever you call that, the chin strap beard.
Have a big lunch.
He's a
Mhm.
funny announcer.
Oh, he's
On the
great.
panel.
In this documentary, he's arguably the most entertaining part of it. He's so funny. Just a big ball of personality. The whole team was a big ball of personality. And them going against the Yankees, all clean shaven and shit. It was fun. Love me my sports. Love me my sports. Including tonight's game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. For our friends at Bet365. Got a little betting talk. I'm going to pull something over from O&R. On Oilers Nation Radio, when I do the betting segment, I play Guess That Line with the boys.
Okay. Hit me.
We've done plenty of bets over the last handful of years. We should have an idea of where lines are roughly. So Wanye, this is even something you can play along with.
Oh, right now?
Pure guessing. Betting segment is brought to you by our friends at Bet365, proud partner of Nation Real Life. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet at a huge range of markets. So whatever the moment, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the code NATION. The code is NATION. We're going to play Guess That Line for the first time on the Real Life. So we're just looking at the Oilers versus the Blue Jackets. Jay, they're heavily favored, as you can imagine. Our boys are.
Mm-hmm.
The Columbus Blue Jackets are plus 205 on the money line. Wanye, that means they are heavily favored. The Oilers, that is.
The Oilers are.
Oilers are heavily favored.
Good news.
50-50 chances essentially plus 100. So the Blue Jackets are plus 205. Jay, what do you think the line is? The money line for the Oilers. If the Blue Jackets are plus 205, we're playing Guess That Line.
Minus 300.
Wanya, you got a guess?
I agree.
They're minus 250. You're pretty close.
Is
Minus
that
250.
extreme?
I mean, like that is a bet generally speaking for me. I would just generally avoid because
Just
the
avoid
juice
it.
isn't worth it for me.
Right. So you'll know the outcome in advance, but it's not worth the bet.
In theory.
Unless you put into a parlay and it helps beef up the parlay.
Mm-hmm. Jay, we're going to look at the puck line, which means the Oilers have to win by 2 or more.
Puck line will be
To cover the puck line, Jay.
minus 125.
That is the Blue Jackets odds to cover at plus 1.5. They are minus 120. So if the Oilers are going to win by 2 goals, what does that line look like, Jay?
I think it's minus. What? Okay, so Columbus plus 1.5 is minus 120.
That's right.
Wouldn't the same logic apply if the Oilers are minus 1.5? Okay, so minus 250. I guess I'll just change it to minus 150.
One, you got to guess?
I don't know the answers. I stopped listening.
Plus 100 is even money for Oilers on the puck line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't get it.
So if you put in $1, you would get 2 back if the Oilers win by 2 or more goals.
That seems pretty good, no?
Plus 100 is if you bet $100, you
win $100
plus 100.
Yeah.
Oh, so if it's plus 200, that you get 300 back on a $100 bet.
Yeah.
That's right.
I gotcha.
The minus is a whole different beast because it inverts. Because everything, it's all about like trying to, it's either bet, the plus is like what happens with when you bet $100, and the minus is what you need to bet to win $100.
I see. I get it.
So if it's minus 250, you got to bet 250 to win 100. So you're
250 to win 100 in addition to your 250
yes,
back.
yeah, to net $100.
Jay, we were talking about some anytime goal scorers. We're going to play Guess That Line for some anytime goal scorers.
Mm-hmm.
2 of these players have the exact same odds. Can you pick out who has the same odds to score a goal anytime? I'm giving you Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman, and Connor McDavid. Which 2 have the exact same odds to score a goal anytime?
I know Zach Hyman's is plus 125 because I bet that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Leon and Connor have the same at minus 125.
Wanye, do you have a guess who the sports books would think have the exact same opportunity to score a goal tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Connor and Leon?
Is Connor and Leon both plus 100? It's a pick 'em on them to score.
What does pick 'em mean?
Then again, it's a 50-50 chance that the books expect you to score.
I see. Pick 'em.
Mm-hmm. What was your bet of the day over on Oilers Nation every day?
It's a 3-leg prop parlay.
Mm-hmm.
It is Connor to get a point.
Mm-hmm. Which Connor to get a point, generally speaking, very, very low odds.
Crap.
Nothing. You have that as a throw in to kind of juice up your parlay.
Juices up my Hyman goal, which was plus 125 on its own, and an Arvidsson point because he's now an assist factory. Mm-hmm. Those 3 smashed together is plus 325.
I like that.
So for every $1 you bet, you get your bet back plus $3.25.
Yes.
For you kids at home, don't bet if you're underage.
And bet responsibly as well.
Exactly. Well said.
Open an account with Bet365 today. Bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Just use the promo code NATION. The promo code is NATION.
I mean, like, it's Hyman's turn to score.
Has to.
I mean, it's the poor guy.
He had so many good looks on Friday at the game we were at. It was just like...
It's comical at this point.
There's some kind of curse happening.
This is why I think the Oil, though, at 500 are actually off to a reasonably good start because you know these things like the 1 goal in the top 6 isn't going to continue.
12 months ago, Jay would trade his life for this kind of start.
100%. And that's why I'm trying to use the perspective of last year, knowing how things turned around once it got going. Like Zach Hyman is going to get his points. He's going to get his goals.
You see the confidence we're getting as an organization now as we move along our championship journey?
Well, and I think that was also a big part of like how great it was to win yesterday against Detroit. They didn't play their best game. They weren't poor by any means, but they still found a way to grind it out.
Because the birthday boy.
Birthday boy showed up. Jeez.
You see that video Kennedy made?
Yeah, it was so good. Hilarious.
So good.
So funny. I asked Kennedy on Friday after she did the autograph signing and got Leon's autograph. I'm like, do you think he knows your name? And she was so like, she couldn't even talk about it.
She definitely knows him.
Oh yeah. They know each other. Well, his mom followed Kennedy on Insta.
Yeah.
And she only follows like 12 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know everything.
I had a good chuckle when I asked her.
He knows her for sure.
The smile on his face in that photo is like, I know who you are.
Sure.
You're the hot bitch girl.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, like what a funny meme to start. And like she's owned it now for 2-3 seasons.
Oh yeah.
It's everywhere when he scores.
Everywhere. They've never put it, the Oil have never used it though, have they?
They can't now.
Why?
Because they know it's ours.
Yeah. But I've never seen them actually.
I haven't seen.
Remember when they snatched up Bison King?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, they did that in a real hurry.
Yeah.
The hot bitch is good because it's so sassy.
It is
you're
sassy.
kind of like, ooh, don't touch.
Yeah.
Radioactive.
But touch it.
couple other things I wanted to talk about.
Hold on, before I don't want to. Did you see Celeste's posts wishing Leon happy birthday?
No.
She has ruined his character completely. Grumpy German? No. You should see Schmoopy Leon in these posts.
Oh, the net
it's
kid,
hugs, it's kisses,
Sure.
it's schmoop. What's the German word for schmoop? Das Schmoop.
Also, that reminds me of yesterday on the broadcast when Gene sang happy birthday in German.
What? Well pronounced.
And after the game, he said something in German to Leon. Leon just looks, he's like, you know what? Close enough.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. Great clip.
I'm starting to wonder if our grumpy German behind closed doors is just big old Das Schmoop.
I think he might be.
Uh-oh. Don't let the other guys in the league find out.
Mm-hmm. He's got that little, you know what? I've been on this train for a while because it's the little fuzzy dog they've got and how much he just like seems to really enjoy that little schmoopy dog.
I once in a while will get a text from someone, and it's not a particular someone each time, but he lives in that area or near 142nd Street of like him just walking his dog. People driving down 142nd Street saying, "Hey, just so you know, I just saw Leon walking his dog right in plain sight on one of the busiest roads in Edmonton."
I think because Connor's so buttoned down and we pay attention to everything 24 hours a day, and he's the captain and it's his team and it's his league and it's his game. Leon's every year gotten progressively more funny and looser as time's gone by. And I feel like with this new contract, there's like a whole, he's just like, and
like
once they win a cup, exactly. Yeah. Once they win a cup, Leon's gonna be doing stand up at the mall on Fridays because he's gonna be he's getting happier as time goes on.
If there's anybody on the Edmonton Oilers that I would like to have a microphone in their face, it's always him.
But he wasn't like that when he got into the first. Remember when he first got in the league? He
was a little salty. Or like
soft spoken, not saying much.
Yeah.
And then he got mad.
Not.
He was always grumpy, and then everyone mocked him for it. And he took that in, and now he's a much happier guy.
Because like I think of Connor's never going to say anything interesting. He's been coached
bless his heart
his whole life. Nuge, he'll pull some cliche out of the Rolodex going back to 2011.
Yeah.
Although the Zamboni ad that I saw the other day was very funny to me.
Yes, and he's also taking slap shots now.
I noticed that.
It's like more. It's been happened more than once.
I saw that. Connor's also
two elements of growth: the Zamboni ad and slap shots.
Well, even in the Wem ad during the playoffs too, like Nuge is just kind of popping up, and
he's
then
popping up
because he's got Zach Hyman's business agent.
Well, those two are. Is that what it is? Because those two are appearing in ads. I was listening to a Gregor show, and those two are on an ad together.
They're besties. I had the guy from Bobby from Legacy Heating and Cooling on Wanye's World because he's working with them, right? And he was telling me like he got contacted by Zach Hyman and the Nuge's agent, and they said, I represent both guys. They're working together. They're interested in their larger careers outside of hockey, and they're looking to do deals. And that's why you see Nuge in the mall ads. Like he's got hooked in with Zach Hyman's people, who Zach Hyman's probably one of the more put together businessmen in the history of the NHL. I could think.
Yeah, he's got some stuff going
right.
On.
Yeah. So he's got a whole team outside of hockey helping him work on projects and shit. And that's why he's got the Hyundai ads, the Tylenol ads, all that kind of shit. So the Nuge is hooked in there. Apparently they're besties. Like that's hilarious.
It makes sense to me because they're also two of the most beloved characters we've had in quite some time.
100%. The Nuge as a pitchman's funny as an idea. He's never heard a fucking peep out of him for the first 10 years of his life.
Yeah, nothing.
Like nothing.
He's been around so long and we still don't really know much about him outside of what you just happen to find yourself.
Next to nothing.
Very little.
Like I know he didn't play that 1 year.
Yep.
And I know he has a racehorse, Infinite Patience, which is a champion.
Like, RNH Stables.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, RNH Stables.
What's his career earnings? Google that for a fella. Gotta be.
He did a 6x6. Did he do a 6x6?
Yeah,
6x7. I feel like he got an extra year versus the other guys.
43.
So estimated, courtesy of our friends over at Puckpedia, estimated
close to 100
career earnings to date of about $68 million. By the time this contract runs out, it'll be close to 100.
Attaboy, Nuge.
Attaboy, Nuge.
That is so much money.
Attaboy, US too.
Well, and I was thinking about like Nuge, career earnings $100 million.
And he'll probably get another. Sorry to interrupt. He'll probably get another contract after that, like a legacy con. How many more years left?
He'll be 38
when this contract ends.
I believe so.
Yeah.
What were the contracts he signed in his career?
You had the 3 to start. So the 3 and then a 6.
3, 7, 8. Or was it 6?
And then the keep Nuge forever.
Oh, no,
contract.
3. Sorry, 7. You're right.
Yeah, 3,
so it's 3, 7, 8. So 18 years total.
And how many years into the keep new Trevor? 8 is he? 3?
This is year 2.
Oh,
Let me have a little.
Is that my guess? Year 2? Or you just see year 3? Yeah. 2
so
years
that might
ago.
be his last career, and then he retired or contract.
Well, it's 18 years, man. That's
Man,
all.
when the Nuge retires, I'm gonna feel like I'm 100 fucking years old.
Wait, no.
Our little
Signed that
baby?
in 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th year of that contract. No, that can't be right.
No, it's not the 6th year of that contract. Don't be crazy.
Hang on. Yeah, this contract kicked in the 21-22 season. It is the 4th year of the contract. Sorry.
Oh no.
So I click on this, like on this Twitter article. Takes me to this website, and this is
It's a
ad.
joke website, right?
Yeah, but it is. It's a political satire website,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the ad, there was another one below it. I just screenshot the first one to send it to my group. Alberta seniors born 1944 to 1983 could get this benefit.
Congratulations, boys.
Thank you.
That was.
Oh no.
But like, that is a very wide range of time.
That's a troll headline to get clicked.
They know my information.
Oh yeah, they're watching your phone for sure.
Yeah, but still, just to even put that thought in my mind today.
Hey, congratulations,
Oh.
boys. Some senior discounts coming your way.
I'm like, where's my OAS?
Yeah.
Give me that money.
Although I'm now troubled because I'm just outside that window.
There's more and more things throughout the course of a month that I'm like, really? That was that long ago? Really? That Gord Downey passing away 7 years ago, man.
Oh, wow.
Really? That was that long ago? That should be a segment that we do once and never go back to.
We could do that with Tyler because I bet he
That
would pull
was
out some
7
stuff.
years.
7 years ago, man.
I was literally, because we have a thing on the wall in the office, and I was staring with it like, that was the most selfless thing he could have done.
Doing that final tour.
Doing that final
So everyone
tour.
could say goodbye.
Just giving everyone one, like,
That was crazy emotions for people.
oh my
Mhm.
God, that was just such a wild moment in like our history as Canadians.
In hindsight, I regret not going to either of those shows.
I'm so happy. I went to the one in Toronto. I wasn't going to go, realized it was there, and paid like $300 for standing room in the very top of Scotiabank.
And that was, I think, if I think back, that's probably the reason I didn't go is like tickets were what they were and I didn't like
But
the
no,
tragic
I
day
have
up.
no regrets. I'm so happy I did it.
Sometimes you got it.
Wish I actually probably got better seats, but it doesn't matter.
Speaking of an equally sad tragedy, Lil Durk.
This is nuts.
Have you heard about Lil Durk? You know who that is?
No.
Chicago rapper Lil Durk.
He's
in some hot water, Jay.
Last year, he had a new album come out. I think it was last year, maybe earlier this year.
Yeah.
And he's got that song with J. Cole on it.
Yep.
That is in my playlist always.
He's done songs with Kanye. He's pretty big. Well, he finds himself, Bag Milk, you want to give a synopsis of the legal jam J. Cole or Lil Durk finds himself in?
Well, he's been arrested for conspiracy to commit murder.
Okay.
Which is not ideal.
No. It definitely unravels from there.
In California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he was in Miami.
He got busted with plane tickets to 3 different locations at the same time.
Dubai, Switzerland, and a private flight to Italy. He booked all 3 simultaneously to get the hell out of Dodge.
Trying to throw him off the scent.
Where's Lil Durk? He's on all 3 flights.
I
Got
know he's
picked
going-
up.
Yep.
Did they not kill someone, but it was the wrong person?
Well, so one of the guys in
Allegedly?
their crew got killed.
Yes.
And then Lil Durk basically texted a bunch of people being like, go get this guy. And a bunch of people flew to California and killed the guy and text Lil Durk like, we got him. And Lil Durk's like, cool. And now Lil Durk might get the death penalty in California.
You read through the story and it gets dumber as you go along. Everything is in writing.
Yeah. Always document your murder plots.
Always text your murder for hire schemes.
Make them as publicly available as possible.
You don't want any misconceptions with your assassins.
No.
You lay it out.
Yeah.
I need you to kill this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to
You
pay
need
you.
something to revert back to that's easy to access.
Yes.
What was the plan again? Oh yeah, I got the text.
He
I got the
flew
email.
in assassins on a private jet into LA to get this guy.
Jeez.
And he's like, don't use no names connected to me. He texted the guy. The guy's like, okay, that's in court.
So, yeah, things aren't going well for Lil Durk.
Rap is going through a hard time, man.
But the
Between
wild-
Diddy and all this shit.
The wild part that I was fascinated by was the article I sent you. I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but like the fan bases of these rappers, like almost treating this like it's reality TV. And when somebody goes down, it's just a character on the show you watch.
Yeah.
Just being like, what's next?
Yeah. The guys getting killed in their crews and they're like all celebrated by the fan bases like it's a show. It's crazy, man.
It is and then they're going back and forth on social, those guys, and they were going back in lyrics as you do. But again, the fan base just treats it like
they like post threats against each other on social and follow through with them and shit, man. Like it's not hard to solve the mystery when they're like, I'm going to kill you, O Block Tony. And then O Block Tony gets shot 8 minutes later. What the fuck?
It's not great for Lil Durk.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I like how you connected that to the Tragically Hip, but yeah.
Well, you know, tragedies in music. Gord Downey passed away. Super tragedy. Lil Durk. Murder for hire goes awry, equal tragedy. That's the way I sees it. Either way, you're not going to hear any music from either of them for a long time.
No, unless he starts a podcast from prison like Suge Knight.
How does that work exactly? I thought you're not allowed to make money outside the jail, inside the jail.
From what I understand, aren't they just recording his calls outward? And
but the jail
releasing them
must
as
see that there's
podcasts?
hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and shit. And there was somebody else who got a whole fucking set of recording equipment in his prison cell and put out a mixtape. And then the prison was like, oh, no, you didn't. Like, don't you notice these big mics being in a jail cell?
They're hanging from
and a sound engineer.
I'm seeing then prisoners playing like NBA 2K in their in their cell.
Well, that I can see, but like releasing a feature
like a
album.
big screen TV.
Really?
Like, well, look, the TV was bigger than that monitor. So maybe jail's not that bad.
That is the lesson I've learned.
But
jail's not that bad.
I'm probably not going to go find out, but
all the same to you, I'll avoid.
Yeah.
But I will just in case I will keep my communications public and just see where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a lot of
smart
prison food content that the prisoners, I don't know how they all have cell
love
phones.
It. That is one of my favorite things on the internet.
And they explain how you can, like, one guy took electrical cords and put the wires on the metal shelf in his cell and made it into a grill. So he always had a grill. And he's making nachos and shit for himself and videotaping the whole thing.
My favorite one that I saw recently was a guy was making, essentially he was making candles out of toilet paper and like twisting them really tightly with some wax and then putting them under the metal toilet seat in his cell and using that as like a grill.
Oh, there you go.
As like a flat top. He's cooking some sausages.
Delicious. Toilet sausages in prison?
Toilet wine, you name it. I love it. I follow a lot of prison food accounts now that I'm thinking about it, of guys who've gotten out and they just teach you how to make shit.
They're living good.
Resourcefulness. This is like engineering level.
Crazy, man.
Like if MacGyver went to jail.
They can make tattoo guns out of Walkmans and shit.
Of course, you got to. Ramen, major currency. Versatile as well. You can use it as a binder. You can use it as a cracker.
Pillow.
I do love myself some fortified ramen.
I do love some ramen. Makes me think of the food truck in LA now that I'm thinking about it.
I think about that.
What was this?
There was this food truck that's outside of our hotel near the rink. And I think it's a Mexican food truck, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they take a bowl of ramen like you'd buy at the store. And they basically just use the bowl and the noodles and make like their own broth for it. And like put beef in it and stuff.
And spices and whatever.
And you get it in the bowl with like the packaging. The packaging lid.
But the flavor is entirely different.
Yeah, lid's like folded over, it gets wrapped up, and you eat it out of the bowl, you take the lid off, and it is unbelievable.
So the last 3 years when we would go down to LA for the playoffs, the first year I found it by accident. And then the last 2 years is like, I hope that food truck's there. Yeah. And it always is.
I think I went there 3 nights in a row last
Really?
year. Yeah, I love it, man.
You think the ramen companies would go there and be like, can't we make the ramen this delicious ourselves? Like,
I did something like
it's just the bowl and the noodle. That's all they use out of it. And everything else is just magic.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good.
That's a big problem that I have with the weather changing in Edmonton is we just like the food truck scene when it kind of goes away. Sad. I love food trucks. I was watching the Dodgers game the other night, and after the game was over, there was showing just a shot of everybody flooding out into the street after, and all the little food trucks and barbecues and everything that's set up outside. That's good living.
The ecosystem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I miss that from being in Southeast Asia a lot as well. The street vendors.
Oh man, street food.
Street food. I miss it.
There was a top when I was living in Hermosillo part-time. There was a guy outside the apartment building I lived in, and he had a taco place. I swear to God, man, it was like $4 for 3 tacos. Like it was so cheap.
Yeah.
And it was so good. Like, man, sometimes street food is better than the best restaurant in town.
Without a doubt.
We did, my last journey to Mexico. That's what we did. We just said, Kate, we are going for a 5-course street food meal.
Oh, wow.
So like 2 tacos here, this
maybe a churro over there.
Oh, jeez. It was magical.
Speaking of the finest restaurants in town, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that if you go into any Edmonton area Oodle Noodle, you can enter to win a trip for 2 on the nation vacation to Denver.
Sold out trip to Denver.
We leave 1 month from tomorrow.
Woo.
We are going down.
How many
Denver.
seats did you sell out?
We are a crew of 51.
Wow. Including the 2 winners.
No, including the 2 winners. Yeah.
Yep.
Going into Oodle Noodle. Get yourself some entries. You get one just for walking in the door. But while you're there, you might as well grab yourself some food, grab something delicious to eat. I recommend a Mega Box. Feeling hungry? Game day. Get yourself some entries to win. You could be joining us down in Denver on the nation vacation. Sold out. Can't get it any other way. Got to go to Oodle Noodle.
Check it out.
I had Oodle Noodle last week and I was thinking about it. I was going to order it yesterday. I was very lazy yesterday.
It is Oodle Noodle, like in terms of like, I think about it more often in the winter than in the summer. So I'll eat it once in a while in the summer. I shouldn't even say this, but it's true.
The president of the company, ladies and gentlemen.
But in the winter, I think about it daily. Like I do.
That and that ramen food truck. That's 80% of your thoughts of the day.
Honestly, I think about that ramen food truck so many times.
Like I'm sitting here as I don't even know what my title is at Oodle Noodle. And I'm like, really? You found a delicious replicable noodle dish? If only we knew somebody with 18 noodle restaurants.
So, well, don't
looking
worry.
to innovate.
We're not thinking about that application. It is, yes.
Could we do that?
We just have to come up with how to make the broth. The issue is,
I wonder if you could talk to the food truck.
Oh, maybe.
Are they ever going to lose a customer because Oodle Noodle's amazing?
Yeah, no, fair.
Right? I wonder if you could get a recipe off them.
That'd be amazing.
I will happily go down and do the research myself.
Well, I would love for us to do a nation vacation for an LA game and also go to a Clippers game.
That's just like
I've been obsessed with the scoreboard.
I know.
Did you see Ballmer cheering on opening night of Welcome Home Clippers Nation? And he's doing like a clap they invented, and the guy gives him the mic. He just snatches it from the PA guy. Ballmer is a fucking show.
Go stay at your favorite hotel. The golf course.
It is a great hotel.
Even though the food truck's nowhere near it, but we can do post game.
What's your favorite hotel?
It's the West Drift Manhattan Beach.
Oof.
It's got a 9-hole par 3 golf course.
In the hotel.
Yes.
It's what is it? It's a storm ditch essentially.
Yeah, it's like a big it's like this big like storm drainage field. To like take if they take on a bunch of water from rain, that just water will just pour into this field.
And the whole golf course will be underwater.
Yeah. So they turn into a golf course, and like 350 days of the year you can use it.
And 5 days of the year that don't talk about it.
If they get like crazy.
Well, because the first time we stayed there, Jay, we just were like, oh, well, let's go play around of golf there. And then Jay's like, how does this make sense? Just the property value of it.
Yes.
And then the guy goes, oh, well, there's chunks of the year this whole thing's underwater. And we're like, oh.
So is it real grass greens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't that ruin everything when it floods?
Sometimes the fairway's a little soggy.
Last time we were there, the guy's like, oh, if you're here 2 weeks ago, it was underwater. You can see kind of like some of the grass was still brown, but for the most part, it looked great.
That's cool. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. What a great use of like just
marginal
wasteland.
land. Yeah.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of our trip to LA, one thing that I love to do when we go down there is I like to go visit the Dustin Brown statue because it is arguably the worst statue of all time. However, there's a new contender.
Yeah.
I may have a new goat of my horrible statue, Mount Rushmore.
What would be the Mount Rushmore? Obviously, Ronaldo, Dustin Brown.
But they fixed that Ronaldo one.
They fixed the Ronaldo one, but the original one,
yeah,
when he was there for the unveiling, so great.
So funny.
That Ronaldo one, the Dustin Brown one, this Dwayne Wade one is shocking.
I saw a video of him at the statue factory being like, Like, why are you not raising the red flag to Dwayne Wade that this does not look like you in the
It looks like Morpheus when he's tied up in that room with the fucking things on his head.
You just got to need the little
Maybe
pen
Dwayne Wade
stage
needs
stuff.
to go see if he's got some cataracts.
Damn, man. It's terrible.
Because when he said, "Who's that guy?" in the
That's so
presentation,
funny.
it's so good.
Who's that guy in his
Outstanding.
own statue? Like, the statue guy should be taken around the back and shot.
Like, how have we gone backwards in the statue game?
Who's
where this
teaching
happens?
sculpting?
It used to be a point of pride. You go see statues like historical ones.
They're
and-
beautiful.
Well, and once again, I've never saw the person in real life because I was not around, although that internet ad would suggest maybe I was when I showed Wanye.
Alberta Senior? You were there for Michelangelo's
I'm
day.
like, these looked like a normal human.
But like, remember we saw the statue David.
Yeah. And then you saw David?
But just think of the quality of that work.
Yeah, the
Yes.
And that
workmanship.
was like 600
Right
AD.
down to the
Schmeckle.
peas and carrots.
And yeah, is meat and two veg. You want to see what statues look like 1,400 years in the future? Michelangelo? Show them the Dwayne Wade statue. Like,
I
where are we
think of-
going as a species?
Because I looked at it on Friday. We walked past the Wayne statue, and that one's not new, and it looks like Wayne.
Yeah.
NASA is 3D printing a like habitat for Mars right now.
That's what Dwayne Wade
And
looks
they
like.
can't get the Dwayne Wade
With
statue
facial
right.
scanning software. Like,
Unreal.
video games now look exactly like the people.
Mhm. And that's what Dwayne Wade looks like. He's
But
like,
maybe he signed off on it. Maybe he was happy.
I wonder if you could 3D print a statue. Like, if you could take Dwayne Wade and, like, you know, when they make the video games, they wear those ball suits,
Yeah.
right? And then they do their shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could make a statue that way and then like 3D print them to the molecule exactly how they look.
I suggest we try it.
For the Connor
Sure.
statue?
Because now Dwayne Wade forever is going to look like Lawrence Fishburne mixed with Evander Holyfield, and DMX is in there somewhere too.
Do you think there'll be a Connor statue when he's done?
Me and Tyler were talking about that this morning, and I say yes.
Yeah.
We better have our shit dialed in.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, we will.
Will there be a Leon statue? Highest paid player. Dustin Brown got a statue for whatever reason.
It is interesting though. Dustin Brown's over there though.
If those two can win some cups together, which if we're going to win cups, it has to be those two together. I could see a duo statue.
Really?
Yeah.
Like Connor handing the cup to Leon as a statue? Oh my God.
Or I could also see like those two having a joint statue reveal, something kind of like outside of Scotiabank in Toronto, where they have that like line of players sitting at the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them doing something like that. That'd be really nice. Funny thing about the Dustin Brown statue is my favorite part about it is outside of the arena, you got the Shaq statue. That's great. The Kobe statue is awesome. And then Dustin Brown is way over there.
Oh yeah,
He's nowhere near the
not.
other ones.
And is there going to be a Jonathan Quick one?
What?
Oh, is there?
I think that
Please fuck it up. Please.
there'll be a
Please.
Kopitar one.
Please.
Why are they
Sounds
doing
like
so many statues?
It sounds like if they're going, it's like to celebrate that era, I think.
I don't know, man.
That was
If
a
you-
pretty crazy era for the Kings.
Okay, but like to get a statue, you need to be like immortalized for like Jonathan Quick. No offense. Like, is he going to be in the pantheon of all-time greatest athletes in LA's history?
Well, Dustin Brown wasn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe, and I think that's probably why they put him over there. He's not with Kobe.
Yeah,
He's-
it's Kobe.
he's
Did
over
you
there.
say there's a Shaq one?
Yeah, there's Shaq. He's the one hanging off the building.
Oh, there's a Gretzky one.
Well, that's deserved.
Gretzky one again, legit down there.
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks great. The Michael
There's-
Jordan statue, unreal.
We were in Dallas. The Dirk Nowitzki statue's fantastic. He's got a dump truck on him though. Something to think about.
Wonder what the LeBron statue's going to look like. Tall.
Do you think he'll
Lakers?
get 3?
No.
I think he'll get one in Miami and Cleveland and in LA. No?
Possibly. Cleveland for sure. Lock of the
LA
century.
too. They celebrate him as
But they didn't win a championship.
They did. They won
did?
the
bubble.
COVID
Did they?
one.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
And then they won the mid-season tournament, which is even more important.
My
Just ask the league.
Lord, that guy has won a lot of stuff.
Miami for sure. I could see. I wonder if in Miami. Oh fuck. if
Cleveland,
they're-
because he came back, I think they'll still celebrate him.
Yeah. Oh, if they make a better LeBron statue in Miami than the Dwayne Wade one,
I mean, they almost
Controversy.
have to.
I don't know how it could be worse.
Like they have to like keep it on that, but it has to be a bad one. Like they've already locked in that it has to look off. You know what? I'm going to show this out before we wrap this up.
Mhm.
I accidentally, on purpose, watched an episode of Family Matters, and I haven't seen one in years.
Okay.
So funny.
It's aged okay?
It aged okay. This is the one where they were putting up a TV antenna on the roof, Carl and Eddie, and Urkel was just there randomly to coach, and gave Carl shit for using wood screws to screw the satellite into the chimney and should have used masonry screws.
Of course.
And so, anyways, you remember that whole bit where he's like, get out, get out, get out. And Steve will be like, you know what? I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm getting out. You know, that was his thing he always does. That was his bit. So he's walking off the roof. He trips and falls, grabs onto Eddie, grabs onto Carl. They're both hanging on. Carl's hanging onto the satellite for dear life, but because it's got wood screws, they all fall off. So heated debate. Carl wants to kick Urkel out of his house for life. You're never coming back.
Because of that?
Because of that. And then they tried to fight.
You tried to fight Carl Winslow?
Tried to fight Carl Winslow, and everyone was holding back. And what was Eddie's buddy's name?
Oh, he's like Goober Buddy.
Yes, Goober Buddy. He goes on this articulate rant about how they should be more civilized. And he goes, good thing I've got a cousin that can fix that. They appear on American Gladiators. I remember this episode as a kid because American Gladiators was life at the time.
Of course.
And the fact that
So Urkel wore the outfit and shit?
Oh, yeah. And so they went to American Gladiators. So I'm like, the minute I was stuck, I had to keep watching it.
How did you see that on a streaming platform?
No. It was on some channel that's got like a kids show channel. Might have been YTV. I don't know. But found it was hilarious. Good to watch.
Before we wrap it up, we've got one more thing to do. Keep it or cut it. With our friends at Great Clips, 4,400 hair salons throughout the United States and Canada. Great Clips is the world's largest hair salon brand and official hair salon of the NHL. Salons are locally owned and operated and open 7 days a week. Your time is valuable. Use the Great Clips check-in app. See the wait time. Check in on your phone and get your hair cut when you want. For more information, check out Great Clips. Great Clips. It's got to be great. Keep it or cut it.
Chalmers. Keep.
Yeah, I'll keep him for now.
Right.
Tyler
did get his hair cut at Great Clips. Looks great.
Cut.
Did get it cut.
Let's cut him from the show.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's not here today.
Cut.
It's fun to make fun of Tyler when he's not here.
Always.
Last night, Sunday fun day at my house. It was just casual. I thought I was going to rent on demand the new Beetlejuice movie. I was like, I don't want to go to a theater to watch this. I don't think it'll be that good, but I would rent it from my house, provided that it is priced appropriately. Keep it or cut it. $25 for a digital rental at your house.
Oof.
You got to look at it as how many people are going to watch that movie and then what will be the cost to go to the theater. So if you're watching it with the missus, what is it to go to a movie now? $16?
I don't even know.
So if you go to the theater, $32. So you're saving $7 by staying home and renting it for $25.
You keeping it or cutting it?
Keep.
I never ended up renting it. It was too pricey for me. I was cutting it.
I think I'm willing to pay a higher price to go to the theater for the experience.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't been to a theater in forever. I'm probably going to cut because as much as I would want to see Beetlejuice, it wouldn't it'd have to be a movie like, it had to be like a James Bond movie or something that that I need to see.
As I recall, and this is part of your original question, I believe I bought the new Top Gun for what seemed like an insane sum of money because they wouldn't allow you to rent it. It was like opening night and I really wanted to see it. I think I've watched that Top Gun 4 or 5 times now.
Getting your value out of it.
That's good value at that point, right?
If you can watch it a few times. So Beetlejuice.
So that movie, like in hindsight, having loved that new Top Gun movie, I could subscribe to that. I just don't imagine the second Beetlejuice is going to be on that level.
The new Top Gun was so good, I joined Scientology.
Smart.
Because I was like, hey, if T. Cruz is knocking out movies this good, this late in his career, it's because of Scientology.
Mission Plausible 9 coming out soon, I imagine.
Well, did you see that he's filming the new one and he was
hanging upside down on a plane? Yeah.
He does all his own stunts.
That's crazy.
You see what he did at the Olympics?
Yeah.
When did Tom Cruise turn into modern day Evel Knievel?
It's true. Keep it or cut it. Post-game ceremonies, as we saw on Friday.
You got to honor the athlete and make sure you do it quick so you don't have the quasi indignity of being in an empty arena.
I'm going to, okay, so let me put a caveat here.
Mhm.
Ceremony should happen.
Yep.
We need to honor these people.
100%.
We're keeping that.
We're keeping that. I'm going to cut the execution of it because they could have done it a lot quicker
Mhm.
And gone a lot sooner and got those guys who deserve maximum attention.
I'm also cutting it just because if they had gotten it done like buzzer, players off the ice, we're starting.
Players could have stayed on the ice.
Could have stayed on the ice too.
That would have kept people in their seats.
That would have kept players there or everybody there. So I'm cutting the slowness of the presentation.
Yeah, they should have. Because, players on the ice, that is a different dynamic right there. We just solved the problem. Boom.
Keep it or cut it. Oilers winning a third straight game tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
I'm keeping that.
Keeping it.
Of course,
Blue
we gotta
Jackets
keep it.
stink.
We got to keep it.
But they have to show up. Back to backs. We suck in Columbus for some reason. We're scared of the cannon. If you're not the cannon tonight.
Is Gene thinking about the cannon right now? Probably. It scared the pants off him that one night.
Only needs to happen once.
His pronunciation singing happy birthday in German, I was impressed.
I thought it was great.
I bet you he practiced.
I don't think he's a German speaker by trade. Like that probably took a fair amount of like
It
learning.
was like when Bieber learned Despacito.
And remember he didn't know the words to it, and then people threw bottles at him.
And he's just like, listen, I don't speak Spanish. What do you want from me?
But how'd you knock it out so good in the fucking studio? player?
Well, that's the studio for you.
Yeah.
Many takes.
Mm-hmm. Finally, one more for our friends at Great Clips. Great Clips. It's going to be great. Keep it or cut it. The Oilers teasing us with the new power play configurations and then going right back to PP1 the first chance they got.
But then going back to it
They
last game.
Mm-hmm. You got a mixed bag.
But when that power play is like what, 2 seasons away from removed from being the best power play in the history of Earth.
Yes, sir.
Just leave it as is.
That's what I say. I say keep the power play as is.
I do say keep it as is, but it's interesting now though that we got 2 other options, like 2 more additions to make to it. I think Jeff Skinner and Arvidsson are worthy of it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
I
I'll
agree.
keep the fact that we can actually have that shot in our bag. But yeah, I'll clip the fact that these guys are still young. They're still in their prime. This is the best power play on paper. So roll with it. The math will.
math.
One of the things that blows me away as we enter year 17 of Oilers Nation is people's obsession with lines.
Yeah, we
Like
do
I
love our
understand it
line
as the
combos.
daily face-off guys on a day-to-day basis. You want to know what the lines are before the game. But like I was on Gregor's show all summer and people are calling in or texting in and like July 15th. Like, what do you think about playing Arvidsson with so-and-so? No one plays with anyone, man, for very long. The McBlender, MacT hasn't coached the team in 20 years. And the McBlender is still running at maximum volume. Give it an
love
hour.
line combos though.
Wow.
We do love our line combos.
We love them.
Because the solution is there.
Yeah.
Got to move the pieces around.
But like, what's the longest you've seen people play together on a line? Really?
Seconds. Feels like sometimes. I'm going to steal another bit from Oilers Nation Radio because I'm in control today. So get the beat to close it out. Score prediction tonight. Oilers. Columbus. What is your score prediction?
Well, I've been asked this now the 3rd time, so I have to stay consistent. 5-2 Oilers.
Wanye, got a score prediction?
The vibe. 5-1 player.
I'm going to go. We got a 6-2 victory coming. There's your real life podcast. No, I'm changing the bit this year.
Oh.
Every game's a blowout.
Okay.
I'm going to see how long it takes for
There you
people to
go.
call me out on it.
All right.
There's real life podcast. We'll be back on Thursday. Have a great weekend, buddy.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.